Hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. I hope you're all having an outstanding day. Today we're going with this gameplay. Basically, I am going to kind of still test out the things I learned. So we talked a few days ago about introducing like a God of War or kind of a hero that doesn't necessarily fit a synergy, but it fits into it serves a certain purpose in your comp. So today's video is kind of showing that. I'm just experimenting with mixing a 3-star God of War into Marksman, just like we mixed it into Beast Warriors. So the reason I'm showing this is I think experimentation is something very important, and there's a few reasons it's important. One is if you don't experiment, you're never going to kind of learn new things. You're not going to figure out those edge cases. Yes, you could wait for content creators because in general, the community will bring stuff to content creators, or the content creators will just experiment themselves and they'll find new things. So you can find out that way. But if you are trying to be a truly like top player, then you gotta also experiment yourself, because if you can find the exploit, then you can use that exploit and you can basically climb the ladder much more efficiently. Like if you remember when I was making the Dragon Mage videos, quite a while before it caught on pretty heavily, right? And actually using that build, even before I shared it, I rode that from probably the bottom of King 3 all the way into Queen. And that's actually, the Dragon stuff is actually what got me into Queen, my very first time hitting Queen. So that's just why I kind of point that out. If you experiment, you can find comps that people don't know about, and if you find those comps, then you can have really, really great success before they become meta comps on the ladder. So anyways, I just want to point that out to people. And other than that, this video, I want to talk about the state of the game. And the gameplay is actually going to kind of be background for today. So forgive me for those of you who are here for my normal Squirrel commentary. Today, you're actually going to get more of my just kind of stream of consciousness, how I'm feeling about the game. So the reason this came up is I was just watching the tournament, the round of 16 for Oceania and Southeast Asia, and so the APAC rivals. I was just watching the round of 16. And the big thing is for round of 16, all regions, NA, EU, Asia, is everything's moved to the PC version of the game, right? So I was really excited because I personally haven't seen the PC version, and I wanted to see how it looked and everything like that, and just kind of see what a lot of people are going to be exposed to during the World Finals. And when I'm watching the game, it's not as good as the mobile version. That's the best way I can put it. And in the chat was a lot of the very popular streamers and some of the content creators, right? Like for instance, Vince was in it, Fluffy Milk was in the chat, and we were like just having talks about the kind of state of the PC. Some of them are still in the tournament. They're talking about that, and I don't know, it was weird because I was the optimist in the chat, right? Like, I'm talking about, like, it's okay, they'll adapt, they'll adjust the tournament style, and the next major tournament will be even better, and then people are like, wow, you're really optimistic, And a lot of really great stuff, a lot of great comments were coming up in chat about other esports, and will this game be successful? Will this game, Auto Chess, not be successful? What can we count on? And all this stuff. So that's kind of what I want to just talk about in the background of this video. So one point that stuck out to me was about mobile and PC, right? And the different regions. So the game is doing well in Asia, and the mobile version of the game is doing well. The game looks great, and the Asian server is very healthy. If you look at the Asian tournament, I think the Asian numbers will be good. Like, there will be good viewership in Asia. But North America and Europe, the chat were kind of pointing out, the game's really not that hot in those markets. And I don't think it's that weird, because Asia tends to dominate mobile games because a lot of the Asian market, they're more constrained to playing on mobile games, right? And they also have just a higher population of people to begin with. So for instance, I came from a game called Arena of Valor, which is a mobile MOBA, and it was huge in Thailand and in China, and the other top region, I guess, was Korea. So it's huge in there. They would have millions of viewers for their tournaments, but NA and EU, they actually shut down the professional scene because they didn't have enough players, they didn't have enough teams, they didn't have enough interest in those regions. And I think a lot of that came down to the fact that Asia mobile is great. It's a viable pro scene for mobile games in Asia, but in Western Hemisphere, Europe, NA, it is not the case. PC dominates. The biggest games are all PC, right? Fortnite and everything like that, Dota 2, League of Legends. And that's kind of what it was coming down to. So we were discussing, and it kind of was, we felt that's why Drodo is pushing the PC version of the game. So you ask yourself, why did Drodo make why are they making everybody, even though you qualified on mobile, why are you having to play on PC at the round of 16? And that was kind of the discussion, the follow-up discussion. And I mean, the thing is, I think Drodo wants to do good in North America, wants to do good in Europe, and because of that, I think they want their PC version to be viable, to look good, to get popular and make the game popular. But the problem became, and like that strategy I can understand, but the problem is when I tune in to watch that, it is unwatchable. Like for anybody else who watched, I would love to hear your thoughts, right? I consider myself to be quite optimistic. I definitely give the benefit of the doubt, and I'm definitely not saying this in the way that it's like a death sentence to the game. It's just my genuine first reaction, my genuine feedback. I just want to put it out there, and maybe we can all talk about it. Maybe we can try to provide feedback as a community for Drodo, for the auto chess genre, so that we can keep this game alive, keep it healthy, keep it thriving. Well, keep it thriving might be the wrong word, but anyways, you get my point. So to me, here were some issues. The reason the PC is unwatchable is it's extremely hard to cast, and it's extremely hard to follow what's happening. So I myself am a top tier player, right? And if it's hard, and the chat, right? So Vince and the Fluffy Milk, they're still literally they're probably going to be going to the World Finals in the game. So they're even better players than me, right? And all of us are sitting there, and all of us are like, this is not like, it's so hard to follow. It's not even just unwatchable, it's hard to even tell what's happening, okay? So if you have these extremely high-ranked players, and they cannot follow what's happening, like, it's hard for them to tell what decisions are being made, what synergies are being run, those type of things. If it's hard for top-tier players to look at the user interface on the PC version and understand strategic decisions being made, then I mean, what do you think the average casual player is going to be, right? The person who picks up the game for like maybe 1 or 2 games a day, right? They're playing the game like an hour a day type of a thing. Maybe they don't even play every day. They play a couple times a week type of a player. If your esport is going to take off, to me, you have to appeal to that market. You can't just appeal to the very high-end players because, I mean, obviously the high-end players are a very small percentage of the population. So I gave the example of StarCraft. I love to watch StarCraft. I've watched StarCraft for years and years and years. I watch it every year. Tastosis are my favorite casting pair. I love it, right? And here's the thing about it. I don't play StarCraft, right? I've played StarCraft probably 10 times in my entire life, okay? But I love watching the esport, and I can follow it. So I asked myself, why is it that I can watch this thing that I don't play and I still enjoy it? So I enjoy it because Tastosis, one, they're knowledgeable. Well, one more than the other, but knowledgeable, and they explain what I should enjoy about the game. They explain the strategy of the game. They explain all these high-level decisions happening so that me as a casual can come in and just respect it, right? It makes me respect StarCraft pros because I'm like, damn, that is really good. Like, they're doing all these things. They're multitasking. They're making strategic decisions in real time in this small window. And then the other part that I like is I can actually see the strategy play out, right? I can watch the battles. I can see the fights happening. I can see their bases getting bigger, them positioning their armies. And that's, to me, what's enjoyable. That's why I can watch StarCraft 2 even though I don't play the game. So to me, the reason I brought up StarCraft 2 is, and the chat was kind of saying, like, we were kind of just down on the watchability. And I was saying, I think auto chess needs to go a StarCraft route. I think between the casters and between the interface. And what I mean by the interface is what we see on the screen, okay, when we're watching the casting. It needs to have that same feel. It needs to be enough to where a casual player can understand the strategy, they can understand the depth of the game, and they can also have fun watching it play out, right? So like right now, if we look at the screen, we see a fight happening. I think this is something that's cool. This is like what I like out of StarCraft. I like to see the fight happen. I'm like, oh, this little thing with swords is jumping on my marksman, and it's throwing stuff all over the screen, and right, like, I enjoy that. And then if the casters start to explain about synergies, they're like, okay, so if you notice, he has this Marine synergy, which he incorporated in this game because the top 2 players are currently running mage teams, and mage teams do heavy magic damage, so the Marine synergy actually nullifies their damage, right? Like, if you're explaining it like that, you can explain it to a casual player, and they can kind of understand it, but they can still find enjoyment out of it. And then they can talk about the positioning, like, look, they're putting their super tanky teams here, and right, to do this and that. And then just you kind of sit back and watch passively, right? I think auto battlers, to me, they make sense. They're like normal sports to me, because if you think about basketball, if you think about football, right, what are we watching? You're basically watching an auto battler. You're watching things that you have no control over. The only thing you enjoy watching is the strategy and the execution, right? So like when I watch basketball or MMA, I like MMA too. When I watch them, obviously I have no control over it, obviously. I'm just sitting there and I'm enjoying the execution. I'm enjoying the hours that they put into practicing. I'm enjoying the strategy that they brought into the game. So I think auto battlers are just like that. Like if you are watching my hunter comp right here fight against this 6 warrior comp, you're seeing that player's strategy, my strategy, and just execute against each other. So I think the game, the genre, auto battlers, does have that going for them, but I think some tweaks are needed. So the casting, I want to say, was good. Like the casters were doing good. I think the casters were doing a great job. They were knowledgeable, and like they were putting out good information. But the problem was the interface to me. So here's the major problem with the interface. The interface doesn't even show you synergies. Like you can't see the synergies that are happening. You can see the economies, so you can see like the gold that each player has. You can see their level, right? So you can basically see the left side of the screen right now. Like you can see the round, you can see the player names, the gold, their health, right? And you can see their level. But the problem is you can't see the synergies. And they don't even have the synergies showing on the screen like we have right here in the top left, top right. So if you look at the top right now, you can see I have Dwarf, Marine, Hunter, Warrior, right? The PC version literally doesn't even show you that from spectation mode. So imagine you look at my team right now, and you just have to look hero by hero and try to figure out what synergy I have. Okay? That is so tedious. That is so tedious and unenjoyable. Who wants to do that? Right? And that's why you can have all these queen, super high level players sitting in a chat watching a cast, and literally it's hard for them to follow because I don't want to have to look at every time they change the board, I have to look at the person's team and be like, they're running Glacier Knights. Oh, wait, no, they're running 4 Knights. Wait, no. Oh, no, they do have 6 Knights. Do they have Warlock synergy? Oh, there's a Desperate Dog. Oh, okay, yeah, they have Warlock. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's so mentally taxing. And then imagine if you're a casual player. What if you don't even know what all the heroes look like yet, right? So if you come to the game and you literally don't even know what the heroes look like, there's zero chance you're going to enjoy the game. There's zero chance you're going to enjoy it. So I think that's something that also needs to be addressed, is the PC. And this just comes down to the decision on Drodo's part, right? Is they decided to push a product, the PC version, that just quite honestly, I want to be able to say this in a good way, but is not ready to be pushed out to the public, okay? And here's another problem. The PC version does not have the same mechanics as the mobile version. So literally, if you think of another reason that players watch a pro scene, they're watching so that they can learn things that they can then go implement on their own, right? So like when you all come to my YouTube, or when you come to somebody's stream, most people are going so that they could try to learn something, right? They want to learn something. Maybe they're just thinking of some other team comp strategies they could use, but maybe they're really a beginning player and they're really looking for just every single thing they can learn, like economic strategies, maybe positioning, all these things, right? So that's another reason players watch. So, and I'm getting lost in my stream of consciousness here. 1 second. Okay, so another thing people are watching for is that knowledge. So if you have a mobile version that differs from the PC version, then how valuable is it for me to watch, right? If I'm the type of person who my entertainment is learning the game, and that's why I take the time to watch, but what I'm watching isn't the same as what I play when I pick up my phone to play, then that is also a big problem. So hopefully I explained that well enough. So that's kind of another thing that got me about it. But overall, I do think it's a good start. And to me, I've been positive the whole time, and this is why. And this is kind of what scared me today, to be honest, is I've always assumed that people will give the game a chance. They'll give it time, right? They'll give Drodo, a year to iterate, to try to make better tournaments, to try to change things, to try to upgrade the game, right? To just improve, because that's my personality. I'm somebody who I'm very iterative. I try to get a little bit better every single day, right? Whether it's my videos, I try to get better. I try to make better content, right? I try to diversify even my thumbnails. I know my thumbnails are terrible, but I try to make them a little bit better every day, right? I try to experiment, do different things. Sometimes I can tell everybody hates them because when I look at my analytics, sometimes I can tell, oh, guess what? I got a little bit better. This did better, right? And over time, I'm learning. I'm trying my best. So my point is, that's what I assumed other people do. It's the bias. It's my own bias, basically. I assume that everybody thinks the same way that I think, right? And that's what was scary about chat, because I realized people aren't going to give Drodo time. It's Drodo really needs to capitalize on the fact that this is a hot genre right now, right? Auto Battlers had their window, just like WoW Classic right now is having its window, right? And I didn't realize how badly or how important that window is, how much they have to execute, and to the level that they need to execute in that small, tiny little window for this game to truly succeed and thrive. And I don't know, maybe I'm being reactionary. Maybe maybe I just got too shook. So I want you all to let me know. Let me know in the chat. How do you feel? And are you when you're listening to this, are you just thinking, okay, Chaos is just a little in panic mode or just kind of rambling on, but it's okay, everything will be fine? Or is the stuff I'm saying kind of makes sense, and you are kind of one of those people who you're not going to give it a year. You're just going to basically, give it a month or two and then kind of give up on the game if it still doesn't entertain you. Yeah, I guess that's it. I think those are mainly my thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. It just is. This is the first video I've made like this, and this is an experiment, right? Like I just said, this is just my free consciousness. I'm just literally saying this stuff off the top of my head, how I'm feeling about it. But those are the things to do, And I know a lot of you who have been with me since the beginning are totally fine with me doing this, and you'll probably enjoy it, and I do appreciate that, So I guess that is what I have to say. So I can switch into my normal, and we can talk about the game. And if something pops back into my head, I will probably stop talking about the game and then talk more about that. But yeah, I think that's good for now. I harped on the points I wanted to harp on. Okay, so anyways. Oh, that was actually one other thing I wanted to say. Sorry, is I think one solution, a short-term solution, is the tournament organizers, I think, might want to open up the casting. So I think they should select certain streamers or content creators that they'll allow to spectate the games live, and then those content creators can basically cast the game themselves, right? So for instance, today I was watching Funny's stream on Twitch, and then they also had the same stream on YouTube. So you could choose where you wanted to watch it, and you just watched their one Funny stream. So what I'm saying is there would be a Vince stream, Vince is casting the auto chess tournament, Fluffy Milk is casting the auto chess tournament. Chaos Squirrel is casting the auto chess tournament. And I think the reason that could be a solution is because people watch the casters, the streamers, the content creators that they can relate to, that explain things in a way that makes sense to them, or that are just entertaining to them, right? They have a fun personality and keep them around. And I think, based on what I saw tonight, Auto Chess needs to leverage that. Like, they need to leverage the community's support of the content creators and the streamers, and that like personal connection, because otherwise, I don't see there being good numbers. And here's what I fear is this first tournament, if there's really bad numbers, I think they may just give up on the game. Because Drodo is a new company. It's not like they have a huge savings. And I don't know how much funding they got to as like startup funding to make the company work, so to say. But I don't know. If the first tournament doesn't go good, they may not get the funding they need to take a year to try to keep iterating. They may not even get a second tournament, right? They may not get a chance to do that because they just don't have enough money. So that's why I really want to like put out this video. I really want to come up with some ideas, and I really hope that we can work with the tournament organizers, and by we, I mean the content creators, the streamers, and I hope we can do something to make this tournament as popular as possible. Because, quite frankly, I think if the tournament carries on the way that it's carrying on, I think the numbers will be abysmal. Like, they are not going to look good at all. So, yeah, that was my other thing. But I would also love to hear what chat, what do you all think about that, you know? And I guess, I know there's people who would watch the pro scene. There's people who don't care about the pro scene. And there's people who care enough about their favorite content creator that they would watch the pro scene just because that content creator is trying to push it. So I'm curious where people fall in that. Like, are those of you who have listened to this point, would you watch the pro scene no matter what? Would you watch it if, like me or one of your other favorite content creators were casting it? Would you just never watch it? You don't really care about the pro scene. You're just here to kind of play in your spare time and have fun with it. So I'm just curious about that. Is kind of an open survey to the community. But yeah, okay. Anyways, we will switch back. Okay. Okay, wait, never mind. We're not switching back. And sorry, I keep pausing because I'm drinking water. But another topic that I thought of off the top of my head is changes to the game that need to happen to make it more watchable. Somebody, I can't remember who in chat, but I think it was Fluffy Milk. He said something that I felt to my core, and it was basically like early and mid game. There's just casting whatever you're doing. It's just there's not enough happening, and it's just not that entertaining to watch, right? Like early game, you need to fill with commentary, and StarCraft has this concept too. It's like the first like 2 or 3 minutes in StarCraft, you can notice that the commentators are normally talking about stuff that doesn't really have to do with the game, right? They're talking maybe about gaming news, but a lot of stuff like maybe some stories from their life or stories of them playing the game for that week. So it's time that you need to fill. Okay, so Auto Chess has that too. I mean, I know that from my YouTube videos. I know that from streaming. Like, there's a lot of time early in the game that is time you can just fill with random chatting type of stuff. It's not until the later rounds, probably like top 3, top 4, that the game gets like really exciting to watch at the end, right? You're having those clutch fights at the very end. Like maybe we're lose streaking, we're sitting on 1 HP, and we're right round by round fights, that type of a thing. But I would say in general, if I was going to give a guess, I would say the first 10 rounds are probably pretty inconsequential, and at a high level, they matter strategically, like your economy and stuff matters. But once again, if you're a casual player watching an esport, I mean, honestly, maybe even the first 15 rounds are probably not really that enjoyable to watch. They're pretty repetitive, right? Round 1 through 3, you're just fighting the same monsters. Round 10, same monsters. 15, same monsters. And then between that, you're fighting other players. But, I mean, what's really on the line? Like maybe a win streak, maybe a lose streak, that type of thing. So in terms of and the reason I bring this up is in terms of the game, I feel auto chess itself is going to kind of need to have some tweaks to how the game flows for it to be successful esport also, for it to hold people's attention, or the casters are going to have to be god level. Like, casters are going to have to be so good, and the casters are going to have to be so good that they can hold people, they can get people to watch something that they're only watching because they're here to watch, like, listen to the caster or hang out with the caster. Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense and not just totally crazy, but I think a solution is to speed up the rounds. So especially, and if you want the late rounds to be longer, I mean, that could be something too, right? Like, for maybe the first 10 rounds, you can have them just be like 10 seconds instead of 30, right? The prep time. Because the prep time and the fight time just take forever. Or maybe speed up fights. Like, do something to speed up fights. You know, maybe 2x movement, or I don't know. There's tons of solutions out there. Right now, I doubt I can propose the perfect solution. I mean, make people hit harder, make smaller health pools. I don't know, but you get the point. Something needs to be happen so things are faster, right? We can't have like a 30-second prep, a 1-minute battle phase, right, for 10 rounds that are inconsequential. It's just too much time. It's just, your casters have to fill that time to make it entertaining, and that is so damn hard. Like, so hard. So anyways, I think that for me was the last, that was the last main topic I wanted to hit. And once again, I would love to hear what all of you think about that. Like, shorter rounds, do you like the round length? Yeah. And for me, a lot of the people I interact with that don't like this game, the length of the game is a major detractor for them. Like, they just feel that the game lasts too damn long, right? They're like, because you can easily have games that go 50 minutes, right? And that's a lot of an ask. So I'm not saying that auto chess needs to become a game that we finish every game in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but I think it's like 30 minutes. I think being able to finish a game in 30 minutes to me makes sense, and that I don't think they would have to kill the way the game is. I think it could still be just as enjoyable as it is within a 30-minute time frame than a 1-minute time frame. And like, for instance, was it in my stream, or was it? I think it was in my stream and not the video, but there was a fight where you're literally fighting for top 3 for 10 rounds, right? I think top 3 was decided at round 30, and the match went on all the way to like round 40 something, and it was literally just people fighting for top 3. And they didn't even have a lot of health. They had like 20 health. It's like they were just losing like 1 HP per round, and just, right? So think about that. Like, if you're the viewer, you're watching that for 15 minutes, you're watching the same 3 teams just go at it. And even worse is the third person got eliminated, and then it was like an additional 5 rounds. So you're just watching 5 rounds of the same exact teams fighting, and then just one hero staying alive again and again and again and again. But anyways, okay. So we're into top 4. See? I filled the space. Oh, we're in the top 3. Yay, let's get the hype. Going in the chat. Okay, first place has 46 health. I have 25 health. I'm on a win streak. We all have no economy. I made it to 10. First place is at level 8. Third place is at level 9. Let's get it, Squirrel Nation. Let's get the W. Okay, so we got our Devastator. We're trying to snag a Pirate Captain. I'm saving the egg for my Dark Spirit. Definitely, and one for the Pirate Captain. We do hit the Pirate Captain. All that armor onto our God of War, and we are fronting him. We want everybody to attack him and do no damage to him because he is a beefy boy. And last enemies left, I don't know, let's see the scoreboard because I don't remember. So last enemy is, we got a mage, human mage, and we have a feather hunter. Okay. So God of War against the Feather, if they are focusing on him, is super good for us because it's just negating all that damage. And against the Mage, here's something people don't think about. Remember, to generate the maximum amount of mana, you have to do 50 damage. So God of War, with tons of damage mitigation, can make it so that Mage teams do not generate the maximum amount of mana, which means they ultimate slower than they otherwise would. So let's see if that plays out. We're scouting to see where key pieces are. And notice Divinity's in the 4 spot, so it will still grab the attention. So all the mages, yep, and if you see, all the mages are targeting the divinity. We don't really care if he's silenced because he's not there for damage. He is there for tankiness. And yeah, they don't get their ults off quick enough. 3-star Tortola Elder with a Orb of Refreshing and a Mana Crystal. So 300% mana regen Tortola Elder, but not a problem. So anyways, there you go. That is part of it. And how did we perform against the Feather Hunter? Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. So we are into first place. We smashed, I think, yeah, we smashed the Feather Hunter. That's why he went. He had, I think, 42 health. Now he's down to 16. So he got demolished by somebody, which I think was probably me. Since I'm at 10 heroes, I could definitely crush him for 20 HP, no problem. And let's see, we're fighting him from our point of view. Bam, Taboo Witcher does target all the way onto my God of War, which is amazing for me because my God of War doesn't care about mana. He don't need no mana. And yes, we are just stomping through him. Not even a chance. We snag the Shining Assassin, and bam, third place is out to us, and we are fighting for first place. Can we come back? Can we do it? All these items. Oh yeah, beautiful. Give me these items. But we're like, no, forget the items. Let's re-roll. And then I'm like, oh, I have 1 egg on my bench. I could make a 3-star, but I need to grab something to put in the game. Oh, another egg. And then here, let's see if I just drop the meme and just go less heroes, or you know what would be the ultimate meme? Use my egg, get a 3-star dwarf sniper, buy the other egg, and put it on the board. So, you know, will the enemy live so that I can do that? That is the big question. And who knows, maybe I just thought of a future video idea. Should I have some of these videos just like Fortnite players have their crazy kills? Should I just have these crazy troll endings where I try to be so dominant in a game that I can just put a strange egg on the board and still win? Let me know in the comments. Bam! And anyways, we get first place. I take a screenshot of that just because that is a hilarious shop. Just hilarious board state overall. And anyways, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like I said, not our usual commentary, but I just wanted to put my thoughts out there because when they were fresh in my mind. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Take care, happy ranking, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.